Okay, welcome to Canton, South Dakota. We're here in front of Love Inc. on 111 East 6th Street in Canton, South Dakota. You're going to love this place. You're going to love the people and love what they do. This is an episode of Real Value. Hey, it's David Shelton bringing you another episode of Real Value. Typically, we talk to someone before we do this intro, but this time we're doing the intro because I want you to learn a little bit more about love in Canton, South Dakota.
Okay, I'm Karen. I'm the Executive Director here at Love Inc. Love Inc. has been in this community for 18 years, and Love Inc. actually stands for Love in the Name of Christ. And what we do is we work the hands and feet of Christ to get out into the public and be able to help people with their needs.
Wow.
I'll have Sarah explain some of the needs that we help with.
Yes.
She's our call center coordinator, and she works directly with the clients.
Great.
Yeah.
Who is a client?
Who is the client?
Yeah.
Any and everyone.
Okay.
Yes, I'm Sarah. I am the voice you get to hear when you call in and talk to me on the phone. We are here to help anyone who might need assistance. I mean, it doesn't have to be a person living in a cardboard box on the side of the street. We're here for the working poor because right now
Everyone needs
prices
some
are
help.
going up and
Yeah.
everyone needs a little help. So
Wow.
we're here to give them dignity without shame wherever they need them. We meet them where they need it.
I think about the love of Christ and how it's expressed. And when I heard about your organization, Century 21 franchises throughout the country, we were looking, okay, we heard that there's a flood happening in South Dakota and Iowa, and people jumped on board. So I've got some gifts to present today.
That's awesome.
Which is cool. I get choked up by stuff like this, which is totally cool. I
Yeah.
imagine a lot of people do,
Absolutely.
right? Because it's seeing generosity is always good. It's emotional, right? And so, like you said, that it's sometimes the help that people need. It's like we're so used to saying, "How are you?" and we're so used to answering, "I'm good."
Yes.
Right? It's all good. What? Right? When it's not, we're hurting. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Or
so-
I hear a lot of people who say, well, I don't really need help. I want it to go to someone who does need help.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you really do. Let us help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of our processes that I'm very encouraged by is when I started here 18 years ago is we actually interview the client. So they may come into us for one reason, like they need food or a gas voucher to be able to get to work, but a lot of times there's other things going on in their life that we would like to know about.
Wow.
And by doing that interview, Sarah is able to decide if there's some other things that we need to help with. So that is just the way we want to do it and the way Christ does it as well.
Sounds really supportive. Like it's not just treating a symptom, it's treating a person
Right.
wholly like Jesus would do,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
We saw him minister in so many different ways, right? He didn't leave us like you always do it this way.
Right.
It was just you always do it in love,
Yes.
Exactly.
right? Which
Yep.
is incredible.
And if it's a situation where we can't help them, if we don't have the resources, we do always try to give them a way up to be able to contact someone else. So that's another thing that we do is we work with a lot of the different agencies in this area. And then we also work with Lincoln County Welfare, and we work with the social services. So if we can't do it, we try to make sure that they get to somebody that can help them. So
That's incredible. So a little bit about Love Inc. We saw a map over there. It's all over the nation, and like you were
Yes.
saying, even in Kenya, in Africa, that ministry has grown sometime in the 80s. It
Yes.
sounds like it started with some folks that really had a burden to show the love of Jesus to people outside the church, right, in communities.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're like a parachurch ministry in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's very cool. I remember that term.
And South Dakota actually has three Love Incs now. There's one here. We've been here the longest. There's a new one right across the interstate in the Lennox Parker area.
Oh, wow.
They just started up last spring in April, I believe, as they
Wow.
opened their doors. And then we also have a large Love Inc. in the Black Hills area. So,
Wow.
And they've been there for several years too.
Wow.
So
Wow. I think of that command. Jesus said, if you love me, obey my commandments. And then he said what his commandments are, that you love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And in doing these two things, you fulfill the law and the prophets. He simplified it for us, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys get to
Absolutely.
live it every day, which is very, very cool.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard to love people that are the closest to you.
Yes.
You know, isn't that weird? Like, you know, we can get really uptight with people that are close to us.
Yes.
Meet the same personality in a different body with a different name,
Yeah.
and love them. And you know, so oftentimes love starts certainly with loving God, and you can only love Him with the love that He gave you. Otherwise, we don't really have much at
Absolutely.
all.
Yes.
So, but it's loving one another. Then it's not like hypocrisy, right?
Right.
So I've in ministry and paraministry and doing missions and all those type of things over my walk with the Lord. I know that my family often goes, "Hey, would you love us like you love the people that you're going out to serve?" You know, and so we don't really see what it's like to be on the other side of us sometimes in the closest.
Absolutely.
With our closest friends.
There's always lessons to be learned.
Yeah. So there was a flood. Monies were collected by different Century 21s all over the country, and then sent to our office so that we could present it. So, and I really am a big proponent of and I know that you'll probably call and thank these people or send out
Yes.
notes or whatever,
Yeah.
but not letting your right hand know what your left hand is doing.
Right. Right.
That's also oftentimes we will give, and we'll try to do it as anonymously as possible, personally, so that God gets the glory. You
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And confidentiality is very important to us here. So
Yeah.
that's something that we definitely agree with, right, Sarah?
Yeah, it's a small town. Everyone knows everything.
Yeah, and you get to share, you know, what needs are. Sometimes it's your clients that their anonymity is very important, or confidentiality, right? And then your donors, right,
Yes,
as well. And yet
absolutely.
you're a nonprofit, so you're
Yep.
always raising funds.
Yes.
So you're telling
Yes.
stories, right, about what you're doing,
Yep.
how you're doing what you're doing to people that might be compelled, right, to come alongside
Yes.
and help finance and facilitate this. So I know that you guys will put this to good work, and I want
Yes.
to give you this.
Thank
I know it's a
you.
little disheveled, but we weren't exactly sure why the mail came to us. So, but
It got to you though.
yeah, and it
That's
did,
awesome.
and we got down here, and we got to meet with you. So where are we at? How do they get a hold of Love Inc? If they want to make a donation to Love Inc? If you could walk through those steps, so that people that are online,
Sure.
if you have, I'm sure you have. I think you do. I think I went there. You have a Facebook
Website.
page.
Yes, and we have a website
Okay,
as well, and
yeah.
that's probably the best way to do it because we have a donor page that they can just go right to.
Like a
that
donor
page.
button or something like
Yes.
that, and click on the button.
Yes.
Yep.
Love those buttons.
Yeah.
And
And
you can set up monthly payments.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Credit card or
Credit card, however
right,
you
checking
wanna do.
account,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Remember, if you use a credit card, there's generally a servicing fee that's deducted from that before you guys get the benefit of those
Yes,
funds.
I think in our donation on the website, you can actually decide whether or not you want to pay the fee or if you don't. So
Oh, okay.
that's totally up to the donor.
Wow,
So,
that's cool. That's
yeah.
something to talk about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you keep people updated with what you're doing
Yes.
and the needs
Yes. we
on
do.
the website
We
and
do,
on Facebook?
Yep, and then we have
Website,
social media?
Facebook. We
Yeah.
send out old-fashioned newsletters.
What?
too. I know.
You mean the kind that come in the mail? Yeah, like this? Yeah, awesome. Wow,
Yeah.
that is super cool.
We
That-
like our mail carriers. We
that
gotta
is-
keep them in business.
That is super cool. And you have overhead, right?
Yes,
People,
absolutely.
right? The facilities,
Yeah.
and then just that ability. So you interact with Lincoln County because you're in Lincoln County,
Right,
obviously. But so you do interface with government.
yes.
Yeah,
We do the best we can. We try to make
Yeah.
connections with a person.
Yeah.
So if someone comes in and we can't help,
Yeah.
we have a name we can give them instead of just, here's an 800 number.
yeah. Here's an
and,
agency.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can talk to a
Yeah.
robot.
Yeah,
Yes.
Instead of, no, this is Julie. Give
Yeah.
her a call and she can help.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So Sarah and Karen. So if you do call Love Inc., you're likely to get a hold of Sarah.
More than
Right?
likely.
Yeah. And then if you need to get redirected or routed, if you need to talk to Karen, what would they call? What would they call and want to talk to you about, Karen?
Well, if Sarah's not here, I do her job.
Okay, okay. So you guys, yeah, you share. Yeah,
I mean, she's
Yeah.
usually here, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually here Monday through Thursday. We're all part-time
Okay.
employees. I work the most, obviously, but yeah, we've got 5 employees that do all this.
Wow.
And we also have a thrift store right next door, which is part of our building.
Yeah.
And we raise funds through that, but we also are a relief agency.
Wow.
So that is something through the state of South Dakota. If somebody comes in and they need clothing, they don't have anything, and we give a lot of clothing away.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot
So
of
people can
vouchers.
donate clothing.
Yes, they sure can.
Yeah, clean, folded,
Yep.
ready to go, preferably.
Gently used.
Gently
That's what we
used.
say.
Yeah.
Something you wouldn't mind going and purchasing
Yeah.
yourself.
Yes.
Furniture is it, or no?
Don't do furniture
Don't do
because we don't
furniture.
have room.
Okay, okay. But if you
Yeah.
had room, you'd do it.
Yeah, we probably would.
Yeah.
It's interesting the way Love Inc. is set up. We have a lot of affiliates. I think we have 113 affiliates in the United States right now, and every affiliate is a little bit different because it depends
Based
on
on
the
the needs.
community.
Yeah,
And when we started here, there was a furniture mission.
okay,
So when we started, we decided that the clothing would be a good place to be.
yeah.
This building used to be a dental office. It was donated to us.
Wow.
So we had this
Sweet.
big building and needed to do something with it. At that time, I was the only one working here. There was just me.
That
in
would
this
be a
big
pretty
building.
lonely building,
Yes.
yeah. Lonely person in a big building. yeah.
So we basically remodeled, and the other side of this building is actually a clothing closet.
Wow,
So it's open to the community. Everything is $5, excuse me, $5 and less.
okay,
So anybody can use this, but then we also give a lot of vouchers.
wow.
So,
So it's not like the dollar store where it's now $1.50. It's like $5 or less, and it's,
Yes.
yeah. So, which is, that's very, very cool. Our kids love thrifting. When I was a teenager in Southern California, which is where I was raised, I would love to go to the Goodwill store and
Sure.
the Salvation Army just to get clothing
Yep.
because it was cool.
Yes.
Like it was
Yes.
already kind of like worn in, you know.
Yep.
And there was some really, I bought Hawaiian shirts with pearl buttons for like a quarter. And they were really cool. I remember I would look for those specifically. It was kind of a funky cross
we
between.
might have something with pearl buttons. You might want to go look.
Yeah, I
Just-
might.
Just saying.
We'll go in the closet just to take a look at what's available here, so that you can get a full understanding of what's here. So after hours, you have your Tuesday through Thursday, Monday through Thursday. What are
Monday
the
through
days?
Thursday in the office side.
Okay.
You know, so the call center is open.
Yeah.
for
On the other
people.
side?
And the other side is open Tuesday through Thursday.
Okay.
That is all volunteers except I have a store manager.
Okay.
She does do all the scheduling and all of that, but
Sweet.
our volunteers mainly come from our churches.
Okay.
We have 9 partner churches, and that's our main resource as far as funds go.
Yeah.
And yes, they support us in many different ways. We've got a Friday backpack program each
Wow.
week, so they come in and help us with that. So
Wow.
it keeps us busy,
Yeah.
right, Sarah?
Oh, always on our toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some great friends in Canton. I sell a lot of real estate here. That's my primary
Sure.
thing of what we do for vocation. So we really love this community. Yeah, a lot. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad to get to know you.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times there's so much going on. You're moving through a town so quick.
Absolutely.
They call the Midwest flyover country, but I think that even from my standpoint, you know, a lot of these smaller towns are drive-through,
Yes.
right? You don't stop and get to know people
Yes.
unless you stop at a little cafe or do something, or intentionally,
Absolutely.
you know, find out organizations that are in the fabric of the community, that are contributing to the community, that are oftentimes really, you know, kind of like overlooked. I think I remember this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's good to be able to work with local churches as well. Well, we're grateful that you guys are standing in the gap and really caring for people, expressing the love of God
Thank
in
you.
a real
Thank you.
tangible way. It's super
We
cool.
appreciate this, and
Yeah.
we'll make sure it gets to good use. We do have clients here that are hurting right now, and there's things
Yeah.
going on, so
Yeah.
we'll make sure that it gets taken care of.
Yeah,
So-
that is awesome. Thank you to our Century 21 family for stepping up. That is the phone. We've got to go. Thanks a bunch.
Hi.
Love Inc. It's not a tattoo store, okay? I just thought about that right now, but it's an organization that loves on people and in the name of Jesus, with the love of Jesus. So we're here in Canton. We're at 111 East 6th Street, yes, in Canton. I got correction and information, which is great. I've got a lot of slippage in this mind, but this is historic downtown Canton. It's a super cool place to be. This is a ministry that is really impacting people's lives. We're going to go inside the clothing closet, which is a place where if you need some clothing or you want to donate some clothing, gently used, cool clothing, this is the place to do it. Come on inside. Tell us a little bit about this cool shop. My goodness.
Yes, well, the front here, it's actually homecoming week in Canton.
Okay.
So
We're celebrating Canton.
Yeah, I've got some volunteers that love to decorate and put things together, so that's why you see a lot of Canton Seahawks stuff here.
Wow.
So next week it'll probably be Halloween.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah, so
Wow.
we have a whole basement underneath us that we've got sorters that come in
Wow.
throughout the week and on the weekend, and they sort clothes and make sure that we get the good stuff up here, and anything that we don't use, we actually donate to another organization.
Yep.
So that it all works out real well.
Super. So you've got gloves, jewelry,
Yep.
kids stuff, adult stuff,
Yes.
shoes.
Yes.
My goodness. This
Yeah.
is really incredible.
And this used to be a dentist office, so we put a hallway right there.
Oh, yeah.
So we separate from our office.
Okay.
But yes, we've got women's clothing, men's clothing.
Goodness
And then we
gracious.
also
Hi,
have a few
how are
rooms
you?
that we can visit here. This is Deb. She's
Hi,
one of
Deb.
our
I'm David.
volunteers.
Good to see you.
Deb works both here, and then she also works with us on the office side.
Oh, wow.
Once a week, she works with our Friday backpack program, and
Over 15 years on the office
Yeah.
side and over 13 years on this side.
yeah,
So you've got a little cool, oh, there's the door.
yep.
I see. That's good. So you don't have to go outside in the winter.
Well,
Kind
get
of.
to my car.
To get to your car, you do,
To
yeah.
the office, I don't.
Sweet. So these are the clothes. We've got women's clothes, men's clothes, kids' clothes, even ties, which is kind of a lost art these days.
It is.
There are some cool ties. That's
Yeah,
colorful.
if you need something for Halloween, come see us because we've
Yeah.
got some interesting ones.
So you know what I did is I started wearing fun socks
Oh,
because
sure.
because I'm not doing
Yes.
ties very often.
Yes.
But so the fun socks work out pretty cool.
Yep.
Or loud shirts. Okay, so we're in the thrift store. You've got to come down here, 111 East 6th Street in Canton, South Dakota. Friendly people. They're open some great hours. Be sure to check out their website. Is it loveinc.org?
Love Inc. Canton.
Okay, Love Inc. Canton. Any dots, periods, anything
No.
between Love and Inc.
Nope.
and Canton?
Nope.
So Love Inc. INC, not INK. Canton, CANTON.org.
.org.
That'll get you right to the website. You could donate, you could find out more, get their hours. Be part of this organization. If you haven't been to Canton, or maybe you're from Canton and you're living somewhere else, share the love. Just come on, let's do this together.